The older I get, the more I realize that life isn't difficult because we lack information. In fact, we live in a world overflowing with information. We can search for almost anything within seconds. There are books, podcasts, videos, courses, and yet, despite having access to more information than any generation before us, so many people still feel lost. Subhanallah. Well, maybe what we are missing isn't information. Maybe what we are missing is guidance. And that's exactly how Allah describes the Quran. Not as a book of information, not as a book as entertainment, not even primarily as a book of inspiration. Allah described it as huda, guidance. One of the first things Allah tells us in Surah Al-Baqarah is, "This is the book about which there is no doubt, a guidance for those who are mindful of Allah." Think about that. Allah could have described the Quran in many ways, right? Maybe a book of wisdom, a book of knowledge, a book of stories, and all of those would be true. But instead, Allah chose the word guidance. Why? Because information tells you what is. Guidance tells you what to do. Information can tell you that wealth exists. Guidance teaches you how to earn it in a way that pleases Allah. Information can tell you that hardship exists. Guidance teaches you how to respond to hardship. Information can tell you that death is inevitable. Guidance teaches you how to prepare for what comes after it. And I think that so many people today feel overwhelmed. It's not because they lack information, but it's because they are drowning in information but starving for guidance. My sister, everyone has an opinion. Everyone has advice. Everyone is telling you how to live your life. But when you open the Quran, something different happens. The Quran doesn't just speak to your mind, it speaks to your heart. It reminds you who you are, why you are here, and where you are ultimately going. I find it beautifully that Surah Al-Baqarah begins this way. Almost as if Allah is telling us, you don't have to figure life out on your own. See how comforting that is? Because if we are honest, many of us are trying to carry the burden of figuring everything out. We are trying to predict the future. We are trying to control every outcome. We are trying to solve every problem by ourselves. But Allah has already given us a source of guidance, a light for the journey, a compass for the heart. And maybe that's why the Quran impacts people so deeply. Because the one who created our heart is speaking to us. The one who knows our fear, our worries, our doubts, our hopes. And when we approach the Quran seeking guidance, Allah guides us. Sometimes through a verse, sometimes through a reminder, sometimes through a perspective we never considered before. So, my sister, if you've been feeling lost lately, if you've been overthinking a decision, if you've been searching for answers, maybe what you need isn't more information. Maybe what you need is guidance. And perhaps that's why Allah began Surah Al-Baqarah by reminding us that this book is huda, a guidance, not just for the people of the past, but for you, for me. So today, start small. Open the Quran, read even a few verses, reflect on them, and ask Allah to guide your heart through His word. Because guidance doesn't always come all at once. Sometimes it comes one verse at a time.